to save my soul.
Hey guys, my name is Elliot Bright. Hey guys, my name is Elliot Bright. I'm a local Pro-Am competitor based out of Los Angeles, California. I'm actually from New York originally, that's why my number is 516. Today's video though is going to be a little bit about me, more about my car and my current setup. Just came off my first win against TJ Hunt at the Drift League, so super pumped on that. If you're interested in seeing that content or more driving content, check out my Instagram page, BrightSlide_drift. If you want to see some drifting in person or maybe even get some ride-alongs with us, check out the schedule for Drift Week 6. Me and a bunch of other pros will be out at this event, like James Dean, Chelsea Denofa, my buddies, Rome Charpentier, Fielding, and Ben Hobson. I recommend my setup for someone who's interested in more competitive level style drifting. I don't recommend it if you're brand new to drifting, just because it's a little bit more than you need. If you're interested in how to set up a car for the first time drifting, especially an S550, check out my other video where we go over a more basic setup that's much more accessible to everybody. You know, this wouldn't be a YouTube video if we didn't say thank you to our sponsors. So I want to say thank you to my title sponsor, Function Factory Performance. They've got all the parts you need from Mustang to McLaren. Thank you also to FDF Race Shop, Bassard Racing, Templar Wraps, the Booty Hustlers, and RTR. So the car is a 2018 Mustang GT Performance Pack Level 1. We'll talk about why that's important a little bit later. It is a 3rd gen Coyote. These things make around 460 horsepower to the crank from the factory. Mine makes around 500 to the wheels. I haven't dynoed it, but a lot of other people in the community have with similar setups, and they all make around that much or more, so that's my safe bet. The most important part of the engine modification list actually is the oil pump gear. We have that from MMR. We also have their crank sprocket. All that keeps the engine happy. Those are the weakest components from the factory. We also have K&N's drop-in air filter and oil filter, JLT's oil catch can separator, and Mishimoto's oil cooler and radiator keep the engine nice and happy. We run NGK spark plugs, one step cooler as well. We run 5W50 engine oil. So for exhaust setup, we've got Stainless Works long tube headers. They're 1 7/8 inch down to a 2.5 factory pickup. We have high flow cats actually, so it doesn't smell too bad and might actually pass smog still, which is pretty cool. We've got C&L's H-pipe and their Axleback exhaust on there in black. We were running stock mufflers for a while with electric eBay cutouts, so I had loud and less loud, but I got tired of fixing the electrical stuff on that all the time and brushing up on the wall, so we freshened up the rear with C&L's Axleback. The car is tuned by Lund for flex fuel, so we can run anything from pump 91 all the way to full E85. So for the drivetrain and transmission, basically everything is still stock. We still have the MT82 in there from factory. It's got about 42,000 miles on it now. Still pretty happy because I don't really shift much when I drift. We also maintain it pretty regularly with AmSoil's Gear Lube and Synchro Mesh. I have White Lines insert for the transmission, and I've got BMR full poly bushings on the diff. We've also got little lockout collars that go on the bolts that mount the subframe to the unibody. The subframe bolts are much smaller than the subframe holes are for their mounting locations, and so it'll shift around on you a bit. So having those collars just kind of stiffens everything up, same as the bushings and the inserts. So for the suspension setup on this car, we're running BC coilovers all around. We've got their out-of-the-box divorce setup in the back with their out-of-the-box 7K-ish spring rate. We also detached the rear sway bar to get a little bit more grip. In the front, it's a true coilover design with them, and we've got 12K spring rate actually. It's a little stiffer than out of the box because we're running a wider stance in the front, helps keep the car nice and planted. We're running FDF's big angle kit up front. We've got all their arms in the back, which help keep the car in perfect alignment, especially for competition. So my wheel specs are 18 by 8.5 plus 35, or 18 by 9.5 plus 38. I sized down a little bit to help run 255s more comfortably for competition. I actually had to shave my front brake calipers because this car is a performance pack, so the brakes are too big to fit 18s as it was designed for 19s. Even with shaving it down, I still have to run 25 mil spacers up front. So my handbrake setup is a combination of my product, chase bays, and FDF. I designed a mount that places the chase bay's handle in the OEM position without cutting anything visible. FDF designs the dual caliper setup for the rear on the car. If you like the position of this hydro and you want one for yourself, hit me up or check out my website because I will be producing this mount for sale very soon. Thanks again to Templar Wraps for hooking us up with the wrap. She really looks killer for this season. Next we'll talk about safety stuff a little bit. Not super exciting, but pretty important for competition. The cage was done by Rome Charpentier of Imagine Garage. From NRG, we have their FIA driver and passenger seat with the halo on the driver's seat. We've got their 6-point harnesses on both sides. For fire suppression, we're running Safecraft's 10-pound system with 6 nozzles. For our emergency shutoff switch, we're running Cartex XR switch, which is a big weight saver compared to a lot of the competitors. In the aesthetics department, we're running RTR's front over fenders. We've also got their grille. We've got underglow from Type S. We've got a lightweight trunk skin from MMR. We've also got some pretty big hood louvers from Spike Performance. We actually collaborate on producing those. If you guys are interested in grabbing a set, check them out. The front and rear tow hooks on the car came from ZL1 add-ons. Speaking of towing, this drift car actually functions as its own tow rig and pulls a small folding trailer from Harbor Freight behind it. I've carried up to 28 wheels and tires on it to help with competition when I can't carry all the wheels and tires in or on the car. That's about it for my setup right now. Thanks again for tuning in. Again, I don't recommend this setup for people who are new to drifting. If you're interested in how to set up your S550 or generally how to set up any drift car, if you're a beginner, please check out our other video coming soon. My least favorite or favorite part, please don't forget to like, subscribe, share here on YouTube and on my Instagram, BrightSlide_drift. Thanks again for coming. Hope to be making a whole lot more content for you guys here and on Instagram. See you guys around. Almost forgot. Thanks again for sticking around to the end, guys. If you want to support me, the channel, the build, check out my website or hit me up on Instagram to grab a shirt like this or any stickers on there. We've got some new ones, we got some old ones, we got one for you. Thank you again so much. Peace.